This is not talking about someone who doesn't have full concentration. He's
everybody. They're always on some scale or always trying to.
He's talking about someone who
get more real and get more sincere.
To worship.
It's not like there's the good people and the bad people. Like
someone who pretends to be one way and is really another way. But in a negative
life on earth.
If your faith isn't tested, you don't have faith. If your faith isn't constantly moving to higher tests, then you don't have any emunah. You think what you call it is emunah. What it is, it's just double speak to your brain.
Okay,
real emunah is always tested. Daily. That's a good quote. You said Misha Barak's by the chance because my father, as we speak, is being catheterized in his heart, and hoping that we avoid bypass and just they'll put a stent in. He's 82, great health, but heart disease runs.
Misha Barak
Aharon and Mildred.
And Mildred Eldar Fanalok Amen. He has such a close family member with such a good heart.
First of all, he's a tremendous physician. He's so very busy.
Let's learn the Haftarah.
Okay. Thank you.
Ben, I'm here.
He's going to record, guys.
I'm starting already.
You're on YouTube.
Oh no. Oh no. Shalom Avraham Yerushalayim, Yira Kodesh. We studied together this evening the Haftarah of Parshat Vayechi. The prophetic message this week is taken from the book of Kings, Kings 1, chapter 2. And these are the instructions that are given by the great leader of the nation, by King David, to his son Shlomo, to his son Solomon, just as David is about to leave this world. He's passing on the reins to Shlomo, and he gives him a list of instructions to follow as he's going to become the new king. And I would like to focus on one sentence. I'd like to focus on chapter 2, those people following with the text in front of them, chapter 2, verse 7 of Kings 1. And one of the instructions that David gives Shlomo is to always remember the family of Barzillai HaGiladi. I'm reading it. V'livnei Barzillai HaGiladi ta'aseh hesed. I want you, Shlomo, to make sure that you act with kindness to the children of Barzillai, the Giladite. Remember the family of Barzillai HaGiladi and always extend to them hesed. Always extend to them kindness. Why? Because they were involved in special levels of kindness to King David. And on his deathbed, he says, don't ever forget them, Shlomo. I want you to include them. I want you to invite them. V'hayu b'ochlei shulchanecha. Invite them to be part of that special group of people who have an invitation to eat at your table, to eat at the royal table. You know what that is? King Solomon's table. Give those people like an open invitation to dine with you. Kichein karvu elai. For it was they who were so close to me. They befriended me. They assisted me. B'varchei mipnei Avshalom achicha. Anybody who studied the book of Shmuel remembers one of the great tragedies in the book of Shmuel is when King David was being pursued by his own son, by Avshalom. And he there was such a danger involved. He had to run. He had to flee. He had to leave Jerusalem. And he ran away from his own son, Avshalom, who was trying to usurp the kingdom. And he had no provisions with him. Nothing. He had nothing with him. And he even had to cross over the Jordan. He was running away. And this great man, Barzillai HaGiladi, as is described in the book of Shmuel, Barzillai HaGiladi, together with others, was the one who championed this level of chesed to David. He benefited King David at the time when he had to run away from his own son. He had to escape the dangers of Avshalom's rebellion. And he was going to Transjordan. And although he had no provisions of his own, Barzillai HaGiladi, this great person who was living at that time in Gilad, the other side of the Jordan, he had special levels of sensitivity to the many needs of King David. And if you're interested, you can read about it in the book of Samuel 2, chapter 17. There's a whole description of the kindness that Barzillai afforded and was kind enough to share with David. And not only did he give these provisions to David, he gave it to King David and all the people with him. He provided David and David's people with sleeping accommodations, with a very wide variety of foods. And when David was returned to his kingdom, Avshalom, as you know, passed away, and David he was restored
so to speak,
as the king. He never forgot the Hesed of Barzillai. He never forgot the kindness of Barzillai. Now notice in the text here it says, I want you to remember what Barzillai did to me when I was running away from Avshalom. It means, you could say it's just giving a contextual reference. At which point did it happen? It happened at the point where I was running away. Or you could say, suggest some of the commentaries, that he did this. This was a dangerous thing to do. Barzillai was putting himself out on a line. It wasn't like, okay, there's a hungry person, we'll give him some food. He could have been killed for doing this. He was supporting the person that Avshalom was pursuing. And he extended himself. Shlomo, don't ever forget the Hesed. Don't ever forget the Chesed that Barzillai was involved in. In chapter 19 of Samuel 2, we read of how David summons Barzillai when he's restored as king, and he offers him special royal provisions in Yerushalayim. Barzillai turns it down, and he says that he prefers that his son Kimham should be the one who should be the recipient of these special blessings. But David teaches us to remember the acts of chesed that people do, especially those that we enjoyed when we were down and out. Can we always remember that great person, the man or the woman, or the group of men, the group of women, those people who were there when life was not going exactly the way we wanted it to go? David HaMelech says, I was in a very low state at that time. I was running for my life. And there was Barzillai for me. So maybe you're not supposed to read this as just something that was. It's supposed to be a living instruction for us. In those tumultuous days, remember in each person's life there were kind-hearted people who were there for us. Do we remember them? Do we reciprocate properly? Do we extend to them kindness? The message, one of the messages of the Haftarah, not only does David bestow kindness upon Barzillai, but you remember the sentence that we started with? V'livnei Barzillai HaGiladi Taseh Hesed. The generations, right? Generations beyond Barzillai. The children of Barzillai, the descendants of Barzillai. Get them involved also. Not only Kimham. Kimham is mentioned already in chapter 19 of Samuel. But the whole family, it sounds like. Extend kindness, never to forget Barzillai, and chesed will be carried out to all of the children, descendants of Barzillai. Even when we do recall the loving kindness of others, when we do make attempts to properly repay them, do we include also special recognition of their children and offspring? V'livnei Barzillai HaGiladi Taseh Chesed. I believe that our Haftarah is teaching us this new dimension of repayment of kindness, of hakarat hatov. Remember the children of the person who was kind to you. And not only should you remember the children, he's not talking to himself here, he's talking to his children, he's talking to his son. Remind your children about the children of the remind your children about the children of the benefactor. Remind them to help them. It's like two generations, right? The second generation of the person who was receiving the kindness should remember the second generation of the people who
If Hashem remembers kindness, maybe we should too.
Amen.
Yeah.
It may be important to note that the Midrash points out that in the 19th chapter of Samuel 2, wherein we read how David makes special attempts at trying to repay Barzillai for his kindness, the Midrash notes that the name Barzillai is repeated over and over and over and over again. You're interested? Chapter 19, Samuel 2, read sentences 32 through 40. Ubarzillai hagiladi, Ubarzillai zakein ma'od, Yarad, Barzillai Yarad, Vayomer HaMelech al Barzillai, Vayomer Barzillai, Vayishak HaMelech Barzillai. Five references to Barzillai within a few sentences, when it's clear that we're talking about Barzillai. And we have a law in Bible that we try to have a very precise and short forged version of the sentence. The law of conservation of space applies to Tanakh. Why the need to repeat the name 5 different times? The Midrash teaches in Breshit Rabbah 58:8, Amar Rabbi Yudan, Chamesh Pa'amim Katuv Barzillai Keneged Chamisha Sifrei Torah. The 5 references of Barzillai parallel the 5 books of Moses, the 5 books of Torah. What's the connection? L'lamedcha shekol mishu machil prusal tzadik ki iluhum kayem chamisha sifrei Torah. To teach you that when you feed a pious person, that's what he did. He gave food to a very pious person, King David. Anyone feeding a pious man, anyone providing provisions for a tzaddik on some level has already accomplished and should be viewed as if he or she has fulfilled the entirety of Torah, the 5 books of Torah. Barzillai is in a certain sense Breshit, Shmot, Vayikra, Bamidbar, Dvarim. No favor should ever be forgotten. Even a small favor that someone does for us should be etched in our memory banks forever. Remember the teaching in Avot the Rabbi Natan. I think I wrote down which chapter it is. Yes, it's chapter 41 of Avot the Rabbi Natan. Teaches us never to underestimate anyone's favors. Im asa lecha chavercha tova kim'a yehei be'einecha harbe. If someone did you a small favor, consider it to be a very large favor. May we all learn from David's instructions in our Haftarah how to always remember the many forms of kindness that each of us has benefited from in his or her life. May we remember the names of the benefactors, and may we always have special places at our tables and in our hearts and in the tables of our children and in the hearts of our children for all of those who are involved in these great levels of kindness, for all these chesed kindness doers. As David says, L'livnei Barzillai ta'aseh chesed v'hayu ba'ochlei shulchanecha. Include them, and those people will be able to benefit from the food of the royal table. I'd like to mention that I was made aware that there's a whole group of people who follows our teachings in a different part of the world each and every week, and especially people such as Benny Berlin and his whole chevra. We greet them from Yerushalayim all the time, even if we don't mention their name. We're together, and we hope that forever we'll be able to study. Shalom Bracha, thank you so much for listening.